I'll start off by stealing an idea from Lucian of Samosata, who lived in the 2nd century AD. He really hated it when people told all sorts of ridiculous tales and presented it as real history. So he decided to make fun of them and wrote a work of satire which he called A True Story. In the first part of that story he recounts his trip to the moon, where he had discovered a society of men only. They reproduce by either gestating a baby in their thigh, which is a little boring so I'll ignore it, or by cutting out one of their testes and burying it in the ground, where a fleshy phallus-shaped tree grows, and it has branches that produce acorns, and from those acorns men shell out their sons. Lucian came up with this ridiculous idea and then moved on to other ridiculous things. But I'm all for bizarre reproduction, so I'll entertain this idea for a bit. I will make the tree a little less obscene. It produces acorns, so it can be an oak tree, with red bark to harken back to its fleshy origins. And since these trees are really important, the men of the moon plant them in their courtyards, where neither the tree nor the acorns can be damaged by passing strangers, though a house can be raided and have its baby tree chopped down, and invading armies chop down the oaks of their enemies. But barring any such disaster, these trees can carry on long after the death of those who planted them. Some grow in ancient family courtyards, still producing the sons of distant ancestors, and because new branches can be grafted onto a tree, every branch could be producing a different man's sons. So a man can shell out his own son from one of the acorns of the ancient tree, and his great-great-granduncle from the next one. A family could also die out and have its house crumble, leaving the oak behind. From there on, every acorn of that tree is an orphan, and some men adopt them, especially if they are hesitant to plant a tree of their own. But when such a piece of land becomes completely abandoned for some reason, the baby tree soon finds itself growing in the middle of the forest, completely forgotten. So the baby acorns simply fall off the tree and decay. This would seed a new oak tree, or two of them I guess, just as burying a dead man would seed at least one. But this is where Lucian comes back to interfere. He wrote that the men of the moon don't simply die. When they become very old, they dissolve into the air in a puff of smoke. So it makes sense that if they get very sick or mortally wounded, they dissolve as well, and they dissolve when the acorns hit the ground. Though a man could purposefully plant at least one more tree before he disappeared. There might be whole groves of orphan trees up on the moon. But I think I've spent long enough completely ignoring poor old Lucian's point, so I will leave silly building be for now.